Goober Gang, in this video we're going to talk about the ultimate stringer. Now we've all probably seen stringers like this before. This one's just a steel cable coated in plastic. I mean, they're okay, but there's better options out there these days. Now this is the kind of stringer you want to get into. This is a G2 Pro stringer from a company called forEVERLAST, and I've got it linked down in the description below along with all the parts you're going to need for this upgrade in this video here today. I say upgrade because this thing is really good out of the package, but it doesn't come perfect. You're going to need this dog play toy from Leaps and Bounds, linked down below, and optionally a carabiner, but really this is pretty simple. I'm gonna use a propane torch right here just to help me speed up this process on this build. And we're gonna have a really quick, easy build today, and I think you're gonna like it. Now, I'm not saying you have to like this video and subscribe to the channel, but my sources tell me that if you don't, jet skis are gonna circle your boat the entire time you're out fishing next. Now, if I were you, I'd go do those two things real quick because they're free and it's easy, and jet skis are the worst. And let's hop on back to the workbench over here and get this project started. So the way this stringer works is you've got 15 feet of stringer here. You've got the traditional brass poker type thing on the one side, and you've actually got on the other side too, but it's encased in this float. And the way this works is it goes back into the float, so you just pull that edge out, bend it back, then you can pull your float right off the stringer. So you can really string fish on from either side of your float here. What I like to do is put my fish on this back side here, and then tie this off to my boat. So I'm always putting fish on the float end. The problem comes in when you're trying to tie this off to your boat. What I want to do is recreate a system like this on the other side so we can just string it around the boat and potentially even carabiner it off to something. So that's what we're going to do today. And to do that, you're going to need your dog ball right here. Now, full disclosure, I have already completed this. I'm just going to walk you through the steps again. I wanted to test it and make sure it worked well before I shared it with you. Now, here's where your propane torch comes in handy, and I suggest having a bucket with some water in it. I'm going to use a cooler here. Now, all you need to do is fire up your torch. And what you're going to do is heat up this brass end here. Don't go too far with it because you don't want to melt this stringer. Just get it a little warm. Yeah, that should be good. And then poke it through your ball here. As you go through the ball, you want to go through one side and leave enough room to go through the other. Don't go right through the center. You're not going to have room to really stick this back through. So we heat this up so it'll melt the rubber as it goes through. Pop right on out the other side. You can hear it scorching that rubber as it goes through. You want this to be kind of a tight fit so it doesn't slip off on you. Let it sit for a second and dunk it in your water. Okay, so you're pretty much halfway done with this build here. Now you can stick that all the way through your ball until it comes all the way through the other side. We just want the stringer in this side. Now pull that all the way through. Make sure you don't grab onto this if it's still warm. You don't want to burn yourself. If you've taken a little time, you might need to heat this up again for a second pass through the ball. Curl it around and go right back through. In one side, right out the other. All the way through. What I'm going to do is take that whole thing and dunk it in the cooler, let it cool off. Now you have a section that you can tie off to something on your boat, like an anchor cleat or a rod holder or really anything, a windshield. And what I'm actually going to do is use that carabiner, pull one side of the ball back through. I'm going to get all this rubber off of it so it goes through a little easier next time. I'm going to take that carabiner, and this one actually has that little ring towards the bottom, which is cool. I'm going to shove that through our stringer. It just so happens to be the perfect size. So string that through. You could just use a normal carabiner too, and then put this through. Now you may never need to take this apart again. If you've got somewhere you can clip that off to, like a string or a rope, you're good to go. If that's the case, and you're not going to use the ball, and you're just going to use the carabiner all the time, might be a good idea to find a crimp that'll fit this and crimp that down, and you've got a really nice clean ending over here. For me, I never know what I'm going to be attaching to, whether I'm on my boat or a buddy's boat or a kayak or who knows, the raft. So what I'm going to do is leave that carabiner on there. If I ever need to take it off, it's as simple as pulling that ball through, sliding the carabiner off. Now the really nice thing about this setup is this rubber ball, this specific one that I do have linked down below, is pretty much the same material as this stringer that goes through. So they really, you can probably hear that, they really bite onto each other. you're not gonna have to worry about this end of the stringer coming through on its own. Now, I hope that tweak is gonna help you really enjoy your time on the water, catching those fish, bringing them home for that fish fry. This is Captain Dan. I'm out of here till the next one.